In the year 2024, drastically shortening attention spans would only become more short, and we must ask ourselves how we spend our time. And I'll pose a question to you. Just what can you do in 20 minutes? Waste one's time watching an episode of Friends, or spend one's time effectively watching an episode of Sam Len's artwork. Today I bring you gimmick-free speed painting. At some points in this video, the simple advice will be just to paint faster. But there is more to the matrix than just simple speed. We will make effective and simple choices, as well as applying the proper techniques. But before I waste any more time, let's have a look at the painting. Okay, let's do it. Now, I'm just going to be filming the entire time, and there's a certain order of operations I'd like to move in order to not interrupt any dry time. God, who knows? I'm going to say some really silly sentences as I try to speak and paint quickly at the same time. But first of all, a little necrotic flesh being laid down on the base. Excuse me. Some camouflage green, rounding out the backside of the base, just wet blending the two of those together. All right, let's leave that be. Grab some rainforest, lay that down. Kind of getting a nice bright neon foundation for the screens. Obviously, I can't fit a different TV show freehand on each one of these screens, so there's going to be a kind of a putrid computer green at this point. Now let's work inside out. Let me take care of the body suit. Just cover the pants and any other bits of clothing I see with night sky, and working so quickly I think everything's going to stay wet at the same time. Lots of wet blending going on, and yeah, this is a great way to kind of get your sea legs with wet blending, speed painting. I'm adding black into the situation now. But I find these timed experiments useful because I've settled on as far as my expectations and the output of quality. You know, I'm not expecting too much. I just want to bring a little play piece or narrative background piece, adding bony spikes into the mix now. Just want to add that into the array of Necromunda characters that I have at my disposal. Let's get a little industrial orange going on for some of these plates. Oh, look at that. It's coming into contact with the black, wet blending and shading itself out nicely. So on this panel, that makes my decision easy. Just grab a little bit of black, throw it towards the bottom part of that chunk. Let's do the other shin pad. I want kind of an industrial color scheme on this, and I also don't want it to match the color scheme of any of the other gangs. So yeah, I think kind of industrial is the way to go, making them dressed like a piece of dock equipment. Yeah. I also want to minimize the use of metallics on this. They might slow me down or get a little bit messy. So desert yellow will be my friend for a lot of these materials that would normally read as being metallic. I mean, they can be painted as well. We've all seen megaphones in real life, right? Not just pure silver. Same with weaponry. I think just 40K has made us think there should be bare metal showing on a lot of objects. So let's take a big old brush, cover as much of that surface area at one time as I possibly can. My phone has disappeared. The screen has gone blank. I'll have to check my time. But, oh boy, I can't stop. Always keep filming. Let's continue to round out the frame. Try to be as neat as I can around here. And yeah, in addition to, making these simple choices and working from a limited palette, move quickly. Seems like the most basic advice, right? But sometimes I have a color chosen for an object and simply just moving the brush very fast is going to help me out. None of this footage is going to be altered in the end. No cuts, no speeding up. Show actual speed painting and keep my fingers crossed. My hopes that I can get people to sit still long enough to watch what is going to be more than a 20-minute video, because I'll have things to say. I'm using black again to wet blend the shadows into play. Very nice. A little bit on the staff, as the eye moves downward, make things a little bit deeper. Let's hold that. Let me check my phone. I guess I can always look at the recording time. We're at 5 minutes 20 seconds. Not bad. All right, now let's take some bony spikes for the chest plate. And like I said, I wanted him to have this industrial look, be kind of cobbled together. This is a very light color, so first I'll just lay a base coat down. Just get one layer of paint in place and let that dry while I move on to other areas. That'll have a lighter foundation when I jump back. And speaking of, let's take a little desert yellow and brain matter beige. Slide those together for the skin tone. I had no idea what I was going to do for the skin tone. I could have obviously just pulled a bottle of flesh tone out, but why not mix? It's Necromunda. If he looks a little bit off, that's fine. A sickly skin tone is a Necromundan skin tone. The fine paleness of a hive-dwelling being. Slap that over the face. Seeing is believing. Let me just give you the play-by-play as I, too, am watching this model be revealed to me. Missed a little bit on the back. That brain matter. I keep thinking it's brain matter beige. Bony spikes. It's a nice neutral ivory tone. Let's get the camouflage green. A little holster. A gun bag. I mean, sometimes you have to make do in the far-flung reaches of the 41st millennium. Holsters aren't always available or affordable. You had to spend all your money on a pair of megaphones and kind of forgot that you have nowhere to store your gun as you operate the megaphones. Let's take a little bit of black and night sky combined together. I'm going to color in every single hose, no matter where it goes, as quickly as I can. Plenty of hoses, but we're just making quick, easy choices. I can already see areas I missed, but I have more colors to bring into the equation, so whatever. If I missed something, I could jump back a color, or I can just paint it a different color, eh? Get the handle painted in that same tone. 8 minutes in. All right. Now I'm getting a slight burst of confidence. Let's take some of that bony spikes. There we go. Let's see, kind of escalating things on the handle there. All right, go back to a little bit of the desert yellow. It's just ran a little thin in some of these areas. Increase the saturation, as working with dilution and thin amounts of paint. Quickly cover those back up. Let's get the shoes of the base coat of bony spikes as well. A little bit of color coordination. Lead the eyes back and forth, up to the torso, back to the tips of the shoes. Generally, you don't want to isolate any one color by itself unless, there's kind of a deliberate reason for that. In the case of the green television screens, I think I'm fine if that's the only neon green area. It's kind of a statement piece, really. Want people to look at the TVs. Okay. Almost have a base coat in place. Another layer on the TVs using rainforest once again. Manipulate as much of that surface area as I can using the side of the brush. This large, hefty brush. All right. Torso time. Now that that is dry, I'll go back in with bony spikes, and to shade, we'll use some of that desert yellow, that same kind of foundational color I was using for the megaphones. Everything, I want it all to look kind of desaturated and yellowed out. Kind of a gritty filter over everything. That is the nature of Necromunda. All is dirt. All is sumpy. All right. Flesh tone. So that was the desert yellow with the bony spikes again. You can see I'm having to fight a little bit more. In the case of any bright tone, I'm laying down a base coat. Then I'll come back to do my my wet blending. And let's try Night Sky. Give him a cold flesh tone. All right. Not too bad, just kind of broadly shading the arm in. There we go. On the head, got to paint around these megaphones, but it's all good. As his head kind of plugs into the socket that is the collar, becomes a little more blue. All right, I see some chords that I missed. Knock those out. Feet are still drying. Just a little bit more bright green. I'm really fixated on this being its most like bright, saturated green tone. And with all Warhammer models, every time I'm working on one, it slowly reveals itself. It's, in a case, wow, I'm running all over my words, but in this case, I'm unfamiliar with the model. I've painted Space Marines before, so I'm kind of used to the equipment and all the the little side pieces. Yeah, some of these models you're less familiar with. Like when I approach an Eldar or something, I find myself having to guess a lot more. All right, we got a little screen down the waist or some kind of rectangle. Just paint that in with the rainforest. Now let's get a little bit of that desert yellow on the shoes. Very nice. Now some true brass. Gotta save that true metallic metal for later because it's going to corrupt my paint water, might get into other things. I'll do my best to keep it separate. I can just wipe my brush off on a paper towel so I don't get any metallic flake inside of my water. Where do I want to go? Yeah, all the clips that are holding the wires together and all the skulls can be painted in with this. I like it because it's kind of silver, it's kind of gold, it's a nice intermediate tone, and I could see it being either metal, especially when rendered through the yellow filter or made dirty like we were talking before. Yeah, just a kind of general Necromunda air that's going to filter everything. Pick out all of these clips. All right, How much time? 14 minutes. Oh, God. This should all be building up to a full-on desolate brown wash. And then I can leave it alone, right? It's still drying. That doesn't count as paint time. See, one more wire. I'd like to move on to some highlights. Oh, he has metal bits in his head as well. I don't know if I'm going to make it, gang. Yeah, like I was saying before, sometimes you need to just move fast. Right. More painting around the collar. Yeah, I want this megaphone here, the speaker, to be just plain paint, not true metallic metal. Okay. Let's get the TV painted in. So Guardian green around the edges, and that rainforest will go into the middle. Yeah, I'm just going to have to kind of make a mess, impression of a swirly televised image. A little less green. I'll just kind of take some off on my thumb. Let's grab a lighter tone, slap that in. Yeah, sure. A little more rainforest, kind of brighten things up. Not bad. All right, switch down to a smaller brush. Let's grab some pure bony spikes, start highlighting. And although I'm running out of time, this is not the part to rush. I want my aim to be true and saturated. Focus, don't rush, move efficiently. Just keep on clipping, but don't ignore anything. I want to pick out every traditional feature I'd like to grab, getting the T-zone, all the upward-facing angles, pulling out the fingers. If I miss a little something, that's okay. I can grab the associated color, for example, orange combined with bony spikes. Raise it up like so, and highlight. So just kind of universally mixing bony spikes into whatever the foundation color is. And that's what's giving me my highlights. All right. And yeah, you can be brief and vague about it. All right, almost 17 minutes in. Let's throw a little bit of desert yellow in with that bony spikes. Oh, come on. My brush is kind of frayed out on me a little bit there. Pick out the rivets, these kind of major areas that are going to be grabbing attention. Oh, God. This is messy. I'm having fun, though. All right, what else? Try to get a little bit of a nick of a highlight in on the staff. Touch those upward-facing angles. Thinking about the front, right? Oh, God. A little highlight down low. Get a little bit brighter on these megaphones. Oh, this is a silly paint job. Time 17. Okay, 2 minutes left. Perfect. All right. Get a little bit down on the base. Some dark rust. And yeah, cheat a little bit. Just dark rust. Here we go. Weathering effects. There's your secret weapon. Oh yeah, just caking a little bit of that onto the model. I think I'll have to let this dry before the desolate brown wash. All right, let's get a little bit more. The necrotic flesh, rainforest. I could frazzle. I got 1 minute left. Okay, I have to let this sit and dry before, because I need to dry brush it. All right, pause. Okay, I have 55 seconds left. Let's go. I hit this with a hairdryer real quick off to the side, and now I have some Desolate Brown speed paint mixed 50-50 with a speed paint medium, coating it all over the figurine. Oh god, I'm going to give myself another pause break if I have to. I really want to dry brush the top of the base, but I cannot do that with a wet medium. 22 seconds. If I can save myself enough time, then all will be forgiven. All is possible. Oh Lord, pray for me. Chromatic Warriors, almost done. Just have to connect the membrane, have an all-encompassing everywhere wash. Yeah. Okay. All right. 44, 45. Pause. All right. Slow down. I'm going over time probably right about now, but I'm just going to dry brush on top of the base with some bony spikes. Real chill. It's not even completely dry yet. Let's hit the top. These megaphones. Let's take Rainforest. Just get a little smush in there. And finally, Fresh Rust. There. All right. Almost 20 minutes. I will not change the title of this video. I'm claiming 20 minutes on this. All right, just a few touches in there. I needed that brightness to lift things up. Huh. Not bad. Speed run complete. Show me a 360. Down to the wire and then slicing right through it. I had to pinch off just a little bit of extra time. Can you ever forgive me? But hopefully you learned a lot by watching this video. Sometimes I just want to bring a character to life, and not everything needs to be the central focus of time and energy. Miniatures look good painted to all levels, and certainly serve different roles when painted to that rank. So, Chromatic Warrior, take this piece of fruit and eat it. Go forward with the apple of knowledge and spread its good seeds after you've digested the apple. Always feel free to let me know how you feel in the comment section down below. I appreciate hearing from you. And until we meet again, my friends, remain unchained.